One, it's never too late to start. Whether it is a clothing business that you want to start, whether it's a simple designing, whether it's a simple tuition class, whether it is baking from home, whatever it is. First of all, be ready to learn. Second, don't assume what you're doing is small. Third is most important, learn to bet on yourself.
Welcome to Questions I Wanted to Ask with Anshu. Today, I'm in conversation with Mansi Zaveri, who's the founder and CEO of Kidsstoppress, which is one of the most trusted discovery platforms for childcare and parenting in India.
Mansi, I want to move to the other part of the conversation, which is about this entire thing of financial independence. I think there has been no better time when women and men have come out and strongly spoken about why women need to be financially independent, right? I'm going to take a cue back and talk about a generation or about a lot of women who didn't start at, say, 20, 21, 22, straight out of college to be financially independent. A lot of them have gotten married and then, have had kids, and now they want to start, right? They want to do something. Bada, chota, you don't know. How do you suggest women to start being financially, take that first step? What are your views and suggestions on that? Because it's often, when you say financial independence, we look at bigger goals, but I feel it's always the smaller ones, right? What is your advice on that?
See, one, it's never too late to start. Whether it is a clothing business that you want to start, whether it's a simple designing, whether it's a simple tuition class, whether it is baking from home, whatever it is. First of all, be ready to learn. Second, don't assume what you're doing is small. Third is most important, learn to bet on yourself. I know of so many women, and I can vouch for this, Anshu, that we have a course on Kidsstoppress where we teach digital entrepreneurship to women, and it's a program that's very, very close to my heart because I know that a lot of women want to grow and scale their businesses online, but are so hesitant because they don't want to bet on themselves. Today, you have to spend 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees on your child and your child's class and this and that. फट से भले फिर वो बच्चा क्लास में महीने में एक बार जाएगा और 9 बार करेगा, पर आप उसके लिए स्पेंड करोगे, but you will not spend on your growth. You know that this is what you need, but you are still second guessing yourself because you don't want to bet on your own self. If you're not going to bet on your own self, who is going to bet on you? So I was like, take that class. You want to take a digital entrepreneurship class? Take it. You want to take an Instagram class? Take it. You need help prioritizing your time? Take it. Why are we so scared to admit that we need to learn? I feel like parents, especially mothers, be constant students because that's when you realize that how difficult it is for your child to perform. अरे तुम्हारा से एक किक नहीं हुआ, अरे तुम्हारा से एक बास्केटबॉल नहीं हुआ, अरे मैथ्स में इतने कम मार्क्स आए. Why don't you start the process of learning? Be a student. See how hard it is day in, day out to be given instructions, right? So do that. Most definitely learn and don't be hesitant to bet on yourself. Fifth is be bigger than your excuses. And I keep saying this because we always feel like, oh, I have a meeting today, but sorry, I can't come because my child has dance class. And for that one day, that meeting is important. Can you not arrange your mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, whoever it is, a nanny, a neighbor, someone, a play date? Hey, can you please drop and pick up my child from school today because I really want to make it for that meeting? We are so scared to ask for help. Instead of finding a solution, our first impulse is to find the problem. We want to make that problem so big in our head that we believe that ये तो मेरे से हो ही नहीं सकता, मैं तो इस मीटिंग के लिए जा ही नहीं सकती. That's why if you follow me on Instagram and I post,
I do.
Yeah, if you do, then I keep asking that question, and it's for a lot of people. What's your excuse today? Right?
Yeah.
If you're not exercising, what's your excuse today? Because we want to give, what's the difference between humans and animals? The difference between humans and animals, the biggest difference why we are where we are is because we are great storytellers. And especially women, we are such fabulous storytellers to our own self about the lies that we can come up. Self-doubt, women. Bad storytelling, women. Excuses, women. Why are we always self-sabotaging ourselves, right? So I would say the biggest thing for anyone who wants to start out, koi kaam chota nahi hota hai. Please start and don't think about what the world is going to think, because you don't know what you are signing up for, right?
Absolutely.
And the second, work on the mind more than what you want to do, because the body knows only what the mind is telling the body, right? So be very, very prepared for that. And third, sign up for a class. Don't be lazy to bet on yourself. It's really, really not.
Very interesting. I think I'm going to also attach the link of your digital entrepreneurship course. If women can, benefit, it's fantastic if they could do it. You know the requirements more than anybody would know.
And I'll also say a very important thing, Anshu. Everything that you've summed up, I think what women want to do is, we sometimes want to, when you're finding a mentor, also find accountability with the mentor. But find a program or find a mentor or find a course where you are accountable, that you are finishing all of this and you're going, where you get to hear real life examples of how we did it, right? What is important is that you're finding an accountability partner and you're learning from people who are navigating real life problems. So example,
Absolutely.
course, when I was designing it, I ensured that every month we have a masterclass by another woman entrepreneur who's actually an ace at it, right? Because if you don't have an accountability partner, you'll slip.
Absolutely. Tell me, after all of this, Mansi, in that process of saying no, in that process of finding that, who matters, etc., we also need, there's an important thing that's important is, you always don't have to please even your closer people. It means it's not important to convince the closest one to believe in what you can do it yourself. Does that make sense to you?
You have to bring them on your side.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a simple example, right? Both my kids, ever since they've been born, they know that, listen, she needs to exercise. That first 1 hour of the day matters to her and she needs to exercise, right? They've always seen me. In fact, my younger one who's seen, like, I've been exercising and doing my yoga since she's been in my stomach and whatever. So she's literally, the minute she started crawling, she's probably seen me doing yoga, right? But it's very important for her to be on your side, because otherwise they're not going to let you do what you want, and that convincing will be far more draining than anything else. So it's very important to have your people on your side. Like, I'm giving you a simple example, right? My daughter goes to school at 7 in the morning and I finish tennis class at 7. So she knows that mama's not going to be there. And this is what makes her happy. So I need to help her, because her happiness matters to her and to me. So she's ready all by herself and I'll meet her down and she'll just come down and then I'll walk her to the bus stop. So she sees me coming halfway, but she's walking the other halfway. So self-care is not selfish, but it can't also be selfish. You have to walk with the tribe. You can't leave people behind, because then that path is very, very lonely.
Maybe I think I meant probably, from the perspective of when you are sometimes living with in-laws, and particularly with in-laws, it becomes difficult. With kids, they're your kids, right? They get what you are doing. In-laws come from a different generation, we come from different families, sometimes they don't get it. So I actually meant it from that perspective.
But even with that, Anshu, like, I live with my mother-in-law and I keep joking to everyone, and I think everyone who knows her knows that she's my other better half. Like, I say, I've taken 3 fairas with my husband and 4 probably with my mother-in-law, because we get on fabulously well. But again, she's the one who's watching over my child when I am going down for class. So she knows that this is the norm, right? This has been my routine for the last 16 years. So it's not like I'm saying, no, I'm not going to hang out with XYZ in the night because he's from your side of the family. But listen, I'll go party till 4 on a weekday and that's okay. The rules remain the same. They cannot be bent basis. Acha, aaj mujhe jana hai to main ja sakti hu. But you know what? I don't know. When your guests come over, I'm not going to follow the rules.
Got it.
Have to be the same, because then they will start empathizing with you.
Mansi, there's one thing which stands out for you or about you is your, I think, quest for discipline, right? Where does that come from?
I think my quest for discipline definitely comes from my mom, because she's extremely disciplined and extremely diligent about everything that she does. So I think these are lifelong habits. Probably that was something that was ingrained in me at a very, very early age. I still remember as a kid, by 8:30, while just watching TV, I would fall off to sleep, even as a child, right? And that still continues. And I think what often happens is we try to absorb what is important to us, and we shed as we evolve. We need to shed, because if we don't shed, we'll not be able to prioritize. And I think somewhere the discipline part of it was important to me, and maybe that's why I've held on to it very, very early on. If I was to go back, and I truly believe that a lot of these things are very well ingrained in our childhood, right? I've never heard my mom say कि ये possible नहीं हो सकता है. Whether it was about waking up and packing the dabbas or making extra meals, or it was about reaching some place, or whether it was for her religious task, she would actually go to the temple on every Ekadashi and she would finish everything, and she would be at the temple and she would come back. So कहीं पे I think she never spoke of it, she just did it. और वो देखते देखते we just reached this place where it just became part of us. Even when I got married, she was very clear that I should be working. When I had my child, she said, under no circumstances will you stop working, because you have to be financially independent. And she was always a working person. So I think just seeing her be able to fulfill all those departments in her life, somewhere I think played a very, very important role in my head, that अगर वो कर सकती है, तो why can't I do it, right? So, and I think also, Anshu, I never overthink things. If you embrace it, it becomes easier. If you like what you do, it becomes easier. If you talk about it, it just becomes like a bigger animal than it already is. And I also don't give myself too many choices. I think choices cause confusion. So, करना है, I want to drop my child every morning to school. I want to do it. उसके लिए क्या करना है? I will just back plan. So I think the organizing discipline is somewhere sewn into me as a child, and it's just manifesting in different ways in my adult life.
That was nice and quick and very, very insightful, Mansi. I'm hoping this conversation is probably one of those conversations where women can, listen to this and find it worth their while to maybe start that business, take that first step, or at least start learning to say no to.
I think the questions were very, very insightful, Anshu, and really, I really like what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Mansi.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you've liked this conversation, please don't forget to give us a feedback, drop a review, share this episode to your friends and family, or to those who think will benefit from it. You can also connect me on my social media channels, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Drop me a comment. I will be very, very happy to hear from you.